This is the question of the day on Live from the Pulpit.
Did Jesus really exist? You know, there are skeptics and atheists, agnostics, who not only question the existence of God, but they question whether or not Jesus of Nazareth even existed. I know this because I've talked with them. So, is there sufficient evidence to conclusively prove that there was a man named Jesus who lived 2,000 years ago? I believe there is. Of course, the prime evidence would first of all be the Bible. The New Testament documents are historically reliable. I've dealt with that in other videos on this YouTube channel. They are the eyewitness testimony of the life and teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. Lee Strobel, in his book, The Case for Christ, says, eyewitness testimony is powerful. One of the most dramatic moments in a trial is when a witness describes in detail the crime that he or she saw, and then points confidently toward the defendant as being the perpetrator. In similar fashion, the New Testament writers point confidently toward Jesus of Nazareth as being a real man who lived and died under the Roman Empire. And these are eyewitnesses good enough for any court of law. However, many atheists that I've talked to claim that the Bible is biased. Of course, the New Testament writers are going to say that there was a man named Jesus. They were written by his friends. But it's not just Jesus' friends who knew he existed. Even Jesus' enemies take for granted the fact that he lived. First are the Jewish authorities. Remember, it was the Jews who hated Jesus, and they called for his crucifixion in the Gospels. Yet their own documents mention Jesus of Nazareth. Flavius Josephus, who is an early Jewish historian, in his Jewish Antiquity says, quote, about this time arose Jesus, a wise man, a doer of marvelous deeds, and a teacher of men, who gladly received the truth. He drew to himself many persons, both of the Jews and also the Gentiles. He also writes about James, who is, quote, the brother of Jesus, the so-called Christ, end quote. Also, you read in the Babylonian Talmud, a document originally composed around AD 72, AD 200, it mentions Jesus was hanged on Passover Eve, and Jesus was near to the kingship, which is a reference to his descent from David. If these Jewish authorities teach anything, they teach that there was a man named Jesus who lived and died under the Roman rule. You not only have Jewish authorities, you also have pagan sources which record the existence of Jesus of Nazareth. And these are mostly Roman authorities who actually, you remember, the Romans are the ones who actually drove the nails into the hands of Jesus. Pliny the Younger, he talks about Christians who were in the habit of meeting on a certain fixed day before sunrise and reciting an antiphonal hymn to Christ as God. That's in his letter to Trajan. Tacitus makes mention of Christians who are followers of Christus. Suetonius likewise makes mention of Christus, a popular misspelling of the Greek Christos, whose followers, by the way, were in Rome. They're Christians who are a body of people addicted to a novel and mischievous superstition. Again, whatever these sources teach, they're enough to point to the existence of a man who suffered crucifixion during the reign of Tiberius, Tacitus records that, and whose followers continued to worship him after his death. This man, Jesus of Nazareth, was known as Christ. They are one and the same person. Now, whether friend or foe, everyone in antiquity knew that Jesus of Nazareth did in fact exist. No one doubted it then, and only those who do not want it to be true today would doubt it now. I'm out of time. Feel free to leave a comment on the website. I always like to hear what you have to say. LIVE from the pulpit.wordpress.com for the podcast, LIFE from the pulpit.wordpress.com for the blog, mercedchurchofchrist.org, mercedchurchofchrist.org for other sermon resources. And as always, grace be with you all. Thanks for listening.